Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to our discussion about the applications of solid mensuration on surface areas and volumes. Before we move forward, let us have our learning objectives for this topic. At the end of this section, you'll be able to understand linear, square, and cubic measure, use properties of rectangles, use properties of triangles, use properties of trapezoids, and find volume and surface area of rectangular solids, find volume and surface area of spheres, find volume and surface area of cylinders, and find volume of cones. So these are the objectives of our lecture for this section. And before we go on, let us have some important terms here. We should be able to understand what are these terms, like the term geometry. So the term geometry was derived from the Greek words geo, or geo meaning earth, and metria meaning measurement. Solid geometry is the traditional name for the geometry of three-dimensional Euclidean space. And we have a term called stereometry. Stereometry deals with measurements of volumes of various solid figures, including pyramids, prisms, and other polyhedrons. Mensuration also means the measuring of geometric magnitudes, lengths, areas, and volumes. Mensuration is the branch of mathematics that studies the measurement of geometric figures under parameters like length, volume, shape, surface area, lateral surface area, and many more. Then we have plane figures. In plane figures, the terms that we should understand here are the following. We have polygon. So when we speak of a polygon, it refers to a closed plane figure with three or more angles. And there are as many sides as angles in a polygon. The term polygon comes from the Greek words poly, meaning many, and gunya, meaning angle. So polygons are named according to the number of sides or vertices. Then we have what we call regular polygon. So regular polygon are a polygon having all sides equal and all interior angles equal. Now let's use the properties of rectangles, triangles, and trapezoid. And each of the scenarios here, let us identify and state whether you would use linear, square, or cubic measure. For example, for A, amount of carpenting needed in a room. Is it a linear, square, or cubic measure? And for B, extension cord length. Is it linear, square, or cubic measure? Amount of sand in a sandbox. Length of a curtain rod. Amount of flour in a canister. Size of the roof of a doghouse. So let us state. So among all these scenarios, let us state whether you would use linear, square, or cubic measure. For item A, amount of carpeting needed in a room, so we have to use here a square measure. And for B, you are measuring how long the extension cord, which is the length. So we have to use linear measure. And for C, you are measuring the volume of the sand, so we have to use cubic measure. And for D, you are measuring the length of the curtain rod, so we have to use linear measure. And for item A, you are measuring the volume of the flour, so we have to use cubic measure. And for F, you are measuring the area of the roof, so naturally we have to use square measure. Okay, so these are the answers of those different scenarios in the previous slides. Now let's move to the next slide. We have a term called perimeter and area. So the perimeter is a measure of the distance around a figure, and the area is a measure of the surface covered by a figure. Like for example, if you have this illustration here, okay, so the figure shows a square tile that is 1 inch on its side. So this side here is 1 inch, this is 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Assuming that an ant walked around the edge of the tile, so if it completes all the sides, then we can say that the ant walks 4 inches. So this is the term that we call perimeter. So this is the distance, or this distance is the perimeter of the tile. Okay, so the total distance that the ant walked, so this is what we call perimeter. Now talking about the area, so area is just the product of this side and this side. So 1 inch times 1 inch, so that is 1 square inch. Our unit here has the word square. Okay, 1 inch times 1 inch, so that is 1 square inch. Okay, now let's use the properties of rectangle. A rectangle has 4 sides and 4 right angles, as you can see from this illustration here. We have this rectangle, and these are the 4 sides. We have the L, we have the opposite side L also, and we have here the width W, and the opposite side is width or W. And these are the angles. These are the 4 angles. And the angles are all 90 degrees. Okay, because this side is perpendicular to this side, so the angle formed is a right angle, which is 90 degrees, and so with this side and this side as well. Okay, so the corners, the angle of each corner is 90 degrees. So the length of opposite side of a rectangle are equal. So if the length here L is 5, then the opposite side of it is also 5 meters, for example. If this width is 3 meters, so this opposite side is also 3 meters. Now, the perimeter P of a rectangle is the sum of twice the length and twice the width. So it means if you sum up this side plus this side plus this side and this side, you combined W's and L, so we have here 2L plus 2W. So that is the perimeter of a rectangle. And the area A of a rectangle is the length times the width. You just multiply this measure here and this measure. Okay, so the product of the length and the width, that is the area of this rectangle. Okay, for example, if you are given the length of a rectangle as 32 meters and the width of it is 20 meters, then to find the perimeter and the area, we have to use this formula. The perimeter is just twice the length plus twice the width. So substituting the given, the length is 32 meters times 2 plus the width, which is 20, then times 2. So we get this 64 plus 40, and the unit is in meters, so we have the perimeter equal to 104 meters. Okay, so as shown in our illustration here. And the area is just the product of the length and the width. So you can take this as the length and this is the width. So when you just multiply the two, we get this 640 meters square or square meters. Okay, so this is how to calculate the perimeter and the area of a rectangle using the properties of it. Okay, next let's have this properties of triangles. So triangle properties. For any triangle, the triangle ABC, the sum of the measure of the angle is 180 degrees. 180 degrees. It means that for any triangle, the sum of the measure of the angles is just 180 degrees. So M, it reads like this: the measure of the angle at A, okay, this is the angle here, this is the vertex A, so the angle of this vertex A, so the measure of it, plus the measure of the angle at B, plus the measure of the angle at C is equal to 180 degrees. And the perimeter of a triangle is the sum of the lengths of the sides. So these are the sides. We have the side A, side B, side C. So when you sum up all the sides, so we get the perimeter of a triangle. And the area of a triangle is 1/2 of the base. In this case, we have the base B, okay, and the height H. So 1/2 of the product of the base B and the height H, that gives us the area of a triangle, this triangle. For example, if you're given the area, if you're given the base of this triangle as 11 inches and the height is 8 inches, then using the formula of the area of a triangle, which is 1/2 times the base times the height. So substituting the given, the base is 11 inches, this one, and the height is 8 inches. So multiplying and multiply the product of 11 and 8 by 1/2, so it gives us 44 square inches or inch squared. This is the area of this triangle. Okay, next we have what we call isosceles and equilateral triangle. So we should know what's the difference between the two. So an isosceles triangle has two sides of the same length. So for example, this is the isosceles triangle. So this side and this side are equal in length. So this is called isosceles triangle. This other triangle is called equilateral triangle. Equilateral triangle has three sides of equal length. So this length, this side, has equal length as this side as well as this side. That's why it's called equilaterals, from the word equal. So all the sides are equal in length. That's why this triangle is called equilateral triangle. Now to find the perimeter and to find the perimeter of this triangle, we have this formula. You just sum up, okay? Perimeter just the sum of all the sides of the triangle. So we have P equal to A plus B plus C. And since the sides are the same, so you can have the formula S plus S plus S, or simply 3S. Okay, so the example gives us the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 93 inches. We're given the perimeter, the total length of all the sides. Then we are asked to find the length of its side. Okay, using this formula, so we have P equal to S plus S plus S, or 3S. We're given the perimeter, which is 93. So substitute the value of P here, which is 93, then equal to 3 times S, divide both sides by 3, we got 31 inches. So the side of this triangle, each side of this triangle is equal to 31 inches. Okay, so that's our equilateral triangle. Now let's move on to the properties of a trapezoid. The properties of trapezoid. The trapezoid has a larger base, B. In this illustration, we have here the larger base, capital B, and a smaller base, small letter b, here. Okay? Then the height h, this is the height h, the broken line, is the distance between the two bases. Okay, the distance between the two bases. A trapezoid has four sides. This side, one side, second side, third side, fourth side. So there are four sides in a trapezoid. So two of its side are parallel. So this side, the bases are parallel to each other, and the two sides are not parallel with each other. And the formula for the area of a trapezoid is simply 1/2 times the height and times the sum of the two bases. You just sum up the two bases here, okay, and then multiply it by the height, and then multiply by 1/2. That is now the area of the trapezoid. For example, find the area of a trapezoid whose height is 5 feet and whose bases are 10.3 feet and 13.7 feet. Okay, just apply the formula. Area of trapezoid is 1/2 times the sum of the bases times the height. Okay, so the bases are 10.3 feet and 13.7 feet. You sum them up, then multiplied by the height, which is 5. Then the result multiplied by 1/2. So we got this area of a trapezoid as 60 square feet. Okay, so that's our trapezoid. Now let's move on to the properties of circle. So properties of circle, we have here the following. R, as you can see here, from the center of the circle to the end or to any point of the circle is what we call R. And from the end, from any point of the circle passing through the center to another end of the circle or to another point of the circle, so this is what we call diameter. And the relationship between these two terms here, radius and diameter, is d is equal to twice the radius. Okay, and we have what we call circumference. Circumference is the perimeter of a circle. It's the total length. For example, if you cut this circle at this point here, then you stretch it, it will give us a length. And that is the perimeter. And in circle, we call the perimeter as a circumference. And the formula in finding the circumference is simply the product of pi and the radius multiplied by 2. 2 pi r. That is the perimeter or circumference of a circle. And the formula for the area of a circle is just the product of pi and the square of the radius, or pi r squared. So that is the area of a circle. Now let's take this example. A circular sandbox has a radius of 2.5 feet. Find the circumference and find the area of the sandbox. Okay, using the formula of the circumference equal to 2 pi r, substituting the given radius, which is 2.5. So we got c, the circumference, 2 pi times 2.5 feet, or c equal to 15.708 feet. So that's the circumference. Now solving for the area formula of a circle is pi r squared. So we're given the radius r as 2.5 feet. Then substituting in this formula, so we got pi times 2.5 feet squared. So we got area A equal to 19.625 feet or square feet. Okay, so area is in terms of square feet. Okay, so that's about the area of a circle. Now let's move to the geometry application of which is the volume and surface area. So geometry applications, volume and surface area. So when we talk of volume, for example, of a rectangular solid. For a rectangular solid with length L, width W, and height H, the volume of this rectangular solid is simply the product of length, or width, and the height. So that's the volume of rectangular solid. And for the surface area, as you can see here, there are 6 surface areas here. This area here, this area, we have the bottom and the top, we have the right and the left, we have this front and back, so total of 6 sides. So the surface area is simply the sum of all those areas. One, top and bottom we have 2, left and right another 2, 4. Then front and back another 2, 6. So there are 6 of it. But as you can see, the top and bottom area are just the same. So that's why we have here the bottom, length, and width. So the area of the bottom is just simply length times width. And then there are 2 of them. So that's why we have 2 times L times width. And similarly, for the right and left side, we have the area of this side here, HW. This is the area of the right side. Then on the left side, we have HW also, because this length is just the same as this length. The width here is the same as this width. Okay, so that's why this surface area here is just the same as this one. Okay, so that's why we have here HW, then twice, because there are 2 of them. And on the front, we have the L, for this one. For the front, we have LH. This is the length L, then this height H, the same as this one. Okay, so this is the surface area at front, and at the back, the same measurement. So that's why we have here the surface area is equal to 2 times L times H plus 2 LH plus 2 WH. So this is the total surface area of this rectangular solid. Now let's take one example for this illustration. For a rectangular solid with length 14 centimeters, okay, this is the length, 14 centimeters, height of 17 centimeters, and width as 9 centimeters, find A, volume, B, surface area. So for the volume, we just simply multiply length with height. Okay, so we have 14 times 9 times 17, we got 2,142 centimeter cube or cubic centimeter. Now for B, solving for the surface area, we have S equal to 2 times LH plus 2 times LW plus 2 times WH, substituting the given, and we got here S equal to 1,034 centimeter squared, or square centimeter. So that's the surface area. So take note, the volume, the unit is in terms of cubic, then the area, surface area, is in square, in terms of square. Alright, so next let's have this volume and surface area of a cube. Volume and surface area of a cube. For any cube with sides of length S, like this illustration here, side S, this side is also S, this side is means the length, width, and the height are the same length. So the volume simply equal to the cube of the side. So volume equal to S cube. And the surface area is simply 6 times the square of the side. So that is the surface area of a cube. Okay? And now let's solve this simple example here. A cube is 2.5 inches and on each side. Then find A, volume, B, surface area. So for letter A, let's solve for the volume of a cube. So in the formula, we have V equal to S cube. We're given the length of the side, which is 2.5 inches. So substituting, so 2.5 inch cube, then we got 15.625 cubic inches or inch cube. So that's the volume. Now for the surface area, we have the formula S equal to 6 times the square of the side. Okay, so the side is 2.5 inches. You square it, then times 6, we got 37.5 square inch or inch square. So that's the surface area of a cube. Now let's move to the volume and surface area of a sphere. For a sphere with a radius r, as shown in this figure here or illustration, so the volume of a sphere is given by this formula 4 over 3 pi r cubed. And the surface area is given by this formula S equal to 4 pi r squared. For example, so let's take this example. A sphere has a radius of 6 inches. Find A, volume, B, surface area. So using the volume formula of a sphere, we have V equal to 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Substituting the given radius, which is 6 inches. Okay, so we got volume equal to 904.32 inch cube. And the surface area is given by this 4 pi r squared. Then again, substituting the given radius, which is 6 inches. You square it, multiplied by 4 times pi, we got 452.16 inch squared or square inch. So that's the surface area and the volume of a sphere. And now let's move to the volume and surface area of a cylinder. Okay, for a cylinder, it looks like this. This is the illustration of our cylinder. For a cylinder with radius r and height h, so the following are the formulas. For the volume, we have pi r squared h, or V, the volume, equal to BH. B is the base. Okay, so the area of the base multiplied by the height. So that's the volume of the cylinder. And the surface area is just the sum of the two parts here. We have pi r squared is the area of the base and the top. Okay, and then since they have same area, that is a circular, we have pi r squared. Circle, formula of a circle of the area is pi r squared, and there are two of them. We have the top and the bottom, so that's why we have here 2 times the area, which is pi r squared. Then plus, we have, if you cut this one, if you cut this and then you spread, you get the rectangular form of it, which is the total length. This is circular, so that is 2 pi. Then you multiply it by the radius and the height. So that is the other surface area on this part here. When you cut it and then you open it, then you spread it, you have this part, and you sum up with the two areas at the top and the bottom, so we got the total surface area of the cylinder. Okay, now let's take this example here. A cylinder has height of 5 centimeters and radius 3 centimeters. Find the A, the volume, and B, surface area. Okay, from the formula of the volume of a cylinder, which is pi r squared h, substituting the given radius and the height, so we got volume equal to 141.3 cubic centimeter or cm cube. And the surface area, equal to 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi rh. Substituting the given, so we got the surface area equal to 150.72 centimeter squared, or square centimeter. And now, lastly, we have the cone, volume of a cone. For a cone with radius r and height h, the volume is given by this formula, V equal to 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, for example, if you are given this problem, find the volume of a cone with height 6 inches and radius of its base 2 inches. So from the formula, volume of a cone is 1/3 times pi r squared h. So we're given here the radius, which is 2, and the height, which is 6. So substituting, we have volume equal to 1/3 pi times 2 inches squared times the height, which is 6 inches. So we got volume equal to 25.12 inch cube. Okay, so that ends our discussion of our topic, solid mensuration. So in every solid shape, there is a story of ages, phases, and the space they hold. Okay, so that's all. Thank you very much, and hope you have learned something today. And see you in our next video. Bye.